Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make this really cool fall leaf crochet garland. You can use any yarn and any hook size. So let's get started. To make the fall leaf garland, you're going to need a bunch of the leaf appliques, and I just used a bunch of fall colors. I have green and red and orange and sort of a mustard yellow. For these appliques, I have used a 5.5 millimeter hook, yarn needle, scissors, and to attach the leaves to make a garland, you can use this twine rope kind of stuff. You can also chain a length that you want and string your leaves as you're chaining. To make the leaves, we're going to start with a slip knot, and we're going to chain 5. Once you have 5 chains, slip stitch back into that first chain to create a ring, and you'll be able to pull that apart. You can see there's a ring in between all those chains. Try to crochet over your short tail here so you can pull it closed and it will cinch up that circle when we're done. So chain 3, and we're going to put 11 double crochets into that space in the middle of that ring. So 11 double crochets, and our chain 3 counts as a double crochet, so you should have a total of 12 stitches at the end of this round. Once you have 12 stitches around, pull that tail in the back, cinch up your middle, and then you can slip stitch to the top of that chain 3 that you did to start this round. Just slip stitch, chain 3, and do a double crochet back into the same spot where you just joined, and 2 double crochets into every stitch around. So you should have a total of 24 stitches. Once you have 2 double crochets in each stitch around, a total of 24 stitches, slip stitch into the top of that chain 3 that you did to start. Now we're going to work to shape our leaves. So chain 1 to get a little bit of height. You're going to skip the next, and you're going to do 7 double crochets into the next stitch. Once you have 7 double crochets, you're going to skip that next stitch. Don't forget this stitch right here. Sometimes it is hidden when you have so many double crochets or so many stitches in the prior stitch. So just make sure you're counting every stitch. So skip the next stitch, slip stitch into the next, skip the next stitch, and work 7 double crochets into the next. Once you have 7 double crochets, skip that next stitch, slip stitch into the next, skip the next, and 7 double crochets into the next. So you always want to skip a stitch in between your double crochets and the slip stitches. Skip a stitch, slip stitch into the next, skip a stitch, and 7 double crochets into the next. And you should have 5 little bumps once we get all the way around. Alright, so I've just worked my last little leaf shaping, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I just have my last double crochet that I did. I'm going to again skip the next, slip stitch into the next, and then you should have 1, 2, 3, about 3 or 4 stitches left. Single crochet into the next 2, and then we're going to work our stem. So chain 12, and then you're going to slip stitch back along all of these stitches. So just put your hook in and just slip stitch back up the stem. When you get back up to that last stitch and you've slip stitch into it, slip stitch into the same spot where you started chaining out of, and then single crochet in the next 2. And that finishes that round. The next round we're going to work on putting little picot points all around our leaves, and that's it. Now we can start forming the leaf shape up here, and we're going to give it a little picot, and it'll look a little bit more like a pointy leaf. So you're going to want to single crochet in the next 4 stitches, and you're basically just getting up to the top of those double crochets. You're going to half double crochet in the next, chain 3, and then what you want to do is slip stitch back in that first chain that you made. You kind of just put your hook under and just grab those 2 loops, pull up and slip stitch, and that creates our little picot stitch. Half double crochet in the next, and then do 3 more single crochets to finish off that petal or that leaf. Oops, single crochet, and you do that all along each of these bumps. So you're going to do 3 single crochets to get up, actually 4 single crochets. You want to be at the top, and this pattern is easily customizable, so if you'd rather have a point more to one side, then just single crochet until you get to 2 stitches where you want your picot to be, and that's where you're going to do your half double crochet, chain 3, picot, and then in the next stitch you'll do the half double crochet. So it is easily customizable depending on where you want your point, your little picot point for the leaf tips to be. There's no set pattern. If you do it one way on one leaf and another way on another leaf, it's not going to upset the overall stitch count or the pattern at all. Just remember, you just want a single crochet in these divots here, and then at the tops you're going to do the half double crochet, chain 3, picot, and then half double crochet in the next. So just work that around. Single crochets in these little divots down here, and then when you get up to where you want your leaf point to be, half double crochet, chain 3, and slip stitch into that first chain, half double crochet into the next. After you've done your last picot and half double crochet, just single crochet in the last few stitches, and then you can slip stitch and cut your yarn. Pull that through. Now you've got your little leaf, little fall leaf. And again, you can put these little picots anywhere around those double crochets. I like to do it more in the middle, but here's one I did it a little bit off to the side. It just depends on what you like, and just like in nature, every leaf is different. So once you've taken some time to weave in all of your ends, it is time to add these cute little leaf appliques to our garland string. So the first way I'm going to show you is by using this twine, and it's available at Michael's, Joann, almost any craft store. You're just going to thread your needle, and before you start putting on your appliques, it's a good idea to lay them out in the ways that you want. So whichever color you want first, put over here, grab it, turn it to the back side, and all you're going to do is just weave your needle with the twine attached behind some of these loops. And then just carefully, sometimes it's tight, but carefully pull it up. And so this is the back side, so when your garland is hanging front ways, this will be the first one on your left. So however you set them up on your table or your workspace, that's how you want it to be. Just remember to weave in on the back sides. Take your next one and do the same thing. Just find some sturdy stitches in the back and go through more than one. So go through 2, maybe even 3, and just pull that up. I'm getting myself all tangled here, but you can see how they will start just to hang. So if you hold it up a little bit, they'll hang like that. And you just keep doing that with all of your colors and all of your leaves until you have a desired length that you want your garland. And what you do at the end is you just make a little loop, and you would just tie this on. So then you have 2 loops at the end. So now I'm going to show you how to do it using yarn and a chain length, which is almost the same. You're just attaching them as you're chaining with your crochet hook. To join these using a chain, all you're going to want to do is chain about, I would say at least 20 to start. If you want a little loop hook, chain about 10 to 15, and then you would slip stitch into that first chain and then continue chaining. So this will give you a little bit of a hook, and then chain your desired length that you want between your hook and your first leaf. And remember that number, because you're going to want to leave that same amount of space at the end. So I'm just going to show you quickly. So I've just chained a few. If I were making this to give away or to even hang for myself, I would probably chain a few more in between. Grab your first leaf, and turn it over and just slip your stitch into that top picot. Just slip stitch, turn it, and keep chaining. So this will give you an idea of how it looks with a chain. Either way is perfectly fine. They both look really cute, whether you use a chain with your crochet hook or if you use twine. So you would just keep chaining, and remember approximately how many chains you have done in between each leaf, so you can kind of make it uniform, although it doesn't have to be. Grab your next leaf, make sure you're getting one of the top part of it, turn it over, stick your hook in, just pull. Kind of did it from the wrong side there. Stick your hook in there, pull up a loop, and yarn over, turn it over, and continue chaining. And you're going to do this all the way until you have all of your leaves strung up. Then you can see they kind of hang. You can also use these as ornaments. You would do the same thing, just do a much shorter chain, add a little loop, even like that, and you can have them hanging as ornaments or, you know, around doorknobs, however and whatever you feel like doing. So once you have all your leaves hung on your chain, you're just going to want to chain the same length that you had to begin with in between your little loop hanger and the first leaf. Once you have that, chain an extra 10 to 15 depending on how big you want your loop, and then all you're going to do is just go back into the 10th chain from hook and just do a little slip stitch, and that will give you a hook on your finishing side. So now you have a loop on this side and you have a loop where you started. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please be sure to leave a like and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, happy crocheting everyone. Bye!